Good morning and welcome to Red Dust Video Vlogs. My name is Nicholas Spade. I'll be your host for today. So definitely changing up the format for a little bit. That was something people did request. So I'm going to give you some video. Not going to lie though, it's pretty much going to be me in traffic. Just saying. Couldn't really do much else for right now. Still working on how to edit things and getting all that done. So for today, I'm gonna get the YouTube disclaimer out that one, if you are 16, if you're 16 and below, which means if you're like 15, 14, 13, you get the idea by this point, you are not supposed to be watching this. Please go watch a Modern Warfare video, a Fortnite video, a cat video, something. This is not for you. This is technically should be out of your own mental thought ideas and whatnot, but or thought processes. For particularly men, young boys and men who are 16 plus, this video is for you. Okay, this video is specifically for you. For young girls and women who are 16 and plus, this video is not so much for you. Now, if you have a young man in your life, say, well, this is more for the older women. So if you're a single mother or whatnot, this may be more for you to give to your sons, or to let your sons watch, or to have your sons watch. I'd say make them. Honestly, this is not, this is not fully directed like towards you. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the actual topic of, now that I got the disclaimer out, we're gonna get into the actual topic of the video. And the actual topic of the video is, or the major topic is dating, actually. Yeah, that whole dreaded word. So for some of you older women, you're like, no, not my son. Yeah, this is for him. Okay. So for you boys who are 16 plus, and in high school, most likely you're probably dealing with your freshman year if you're not already a freshman, as is. If you're not a sophomore. So I'm going to go over something that is extremely important right now. Now, I'm going to help you out with something. If you subscribe to the whole thought process of, you can't tell me nothing, well, if you want to know what, you were warned, and anything that happens in your life after this is not my fault. Someone did try to warn you. You can never say that no one did try to warn you. Okay? But for those who will listen, because that's, hopefully who I'm getting to. For those who will listen, hopefully you'll find this video to be extremely informative and extremely, not poignant, but helpful. And so I'm going to start off today's topic, because the main topic is dating, but there's going to be more videos on dating. So we're just going to start off with like topic number 1 here. And I'm going to start off with this. Now, you may not be religious. I get it. You may be religious but ascribe to one faith. I get it. But I would implore you to listen to wisdom and take wisdom where you find it. Make sure it's actual wisdom though. And here's the wisdom. So, again, this is a parable, a story from the Bible. I'm sorry the camera's so shaky, but I'm literally doing all this by hand. So, once upon a time, and I'm just saying that trivially, there was a business owner. Now, this business owner, he had a temper on him. Like basically like, oh, I used up I used up just a little bit too much whiteout. And he'd like yell at you, cuss you out, whatever. Okay? But he's got 3 guys working for him. 3 guys. So for business-wise, it's not that bad. Got yourself a little crew. But he tells the 3 guys, he says, hey, look, I got to go on a business trip. I'm going to be gone for a while. Now, I'm going to break some stuff down for you. When this parable was written, a while could be close to months to years, okay? So whenever someone says, oh, I'll be gone for a while back then, they're talking about, no. You're not going to see me for like a year or 2 years or something like that, okay? Now, nowadays, a business owner says something like that, and we're like, yeah, I'm going to be gone for a while. It means he's running out to the cornerstone. He might be back like within an hour or something. 15 minutes to an hour. Well, for these contexts, you got to keep in mind that this is a very long amount of time. So years, months to years. Okay, we're talking that time frame. Now, so he tells his 3 employees this. He says, hey, look, I'm going to be gone. I'm trusting you guys with the company's assets, the talents of the company, right? Now, there's a reason why I'm using the word talents, because I'm trying to be not so much poignant, but it's a sticking point. It's a sticking point you got to listen to, really pay attention to. Anyway, he says, I'm going to be gone for so long, and I'm trusting each person here with talent. Okay? While I'm gone, see if you can't make the talents grow. What does that mean? Well, back then, talents also meant money, or it was also it was a currency, actually, form of currency. And kind of like, if you look at this story from the surface level, it's very obvious it's pointing towards money, towards assets. Okay? But it doesn't always just apply to money and assets. It applies to actual talent, which was the poignant part of the story. Anyway, so he hands them all varying amounts. He hands one guy 5, one guy 4, and another guy 2. Okay? He hands them all these sums and says, all right, guys, I'm gone. Chucks up the deuce, says, peace, y'all. Peace, y'all. When I come back, I'm going to expect my holdings, and I expect things to be in good shape and order. Well, about that. So, each person says, all right, hey, you know what? I got my talents. And I'm going to do something with them. The guy who has 5, right? He takes his talents, okay? He really takes his talents. And he goes to, like, their version of Wall Street, which probably would have been the actual market. Walks up to a fruit vendor, okay? Just gonna say a fruit vendor. Says, hey, what do you know about fruits? Fruit vendor says, oh yeah, well, we grow this here, we grow this here, we grow this here, we grow this here. Okay, he's having a conversation with a guy, with a vendor, and says, all right, here's another question, another major question. What would you like to do? What would you want to do if you had the money to? Fruit vendor says, man, look, 2 towns over, which, now granted, I know in today's age, 2 towns over doesn't mean a whole lot because of cars. Back then, you were on foot, you were on horse, donkey, or animal. Those were the only modes of transportation. So yeah, also for some of you guys listening to this video, yeah, y'all gotta start walking. Like, start walking, please. Walking, running, whatever. Get outside. There's a PSA for you. Public service announcement. That's what PSA means. Getting back onto topic though. So the young man, this man, he talks to this vendor. The vendor comes. The vendor says, "Hey, I could go 2 towns over, and they sell almonds. Almonds back then were rare, or hard to grow, kind of hard to grow. It would make money." He says, "You know what? Hey, I got 5 talents. I'm gonna pay you these 5 talents. You go over there. You buy the seeds from you buy some almonds as seed. You plant almond trees, and you sell them. And what you do is you keep paying me back. What you do is you pay me more. You pay me back the money that you used. Okay." You paid me back the money that you used, and also a little bit of the profit. So you're not just paying me back the money you borrowed; you're paying me some interest on it too." Guy says, "Hey, you know what?" He's like, "You pay a portion of the profits, we're good." Guy says, "Hey, you know what? That sounds like a good deal. I'll do that." So he does it. So he does it. Moving on to the guy with 2 talents. He looks at the fruit vendor's like, "Yeah, you know what? Not so much into the whole fruit vending thing, but I really, really like gems, stones, okay, fine stones, rubies, emeralds, diamonds, things like that." He went to Jared's. This is the beginning of Jared's. So he goes to a jeweler, which would have been which also would have been a fine craftsman, a silversmith, that type of thing. I told you guys are going to be stuck viewing traffic. Just as a side note. But he goes to this guy, and the guy says, "Yeah." Goes to the guy. He has almost the exact same conversation, except for the amounts change. And it's not so much, when I say exact same conversation, he's not trying to grow diamonds, okay? He's trying to get this other guy to go buy diamonds for him, and diamonds for him, and this guy gets a little bit of profit as well as what he paid. Okay? So he does that. Now, this is where things get really bad. The guy with 2 talents, he's like, "Look, my boss is a dick, okay? My boss," I'm not sure if I can say that on YouTube. Oh well. "My boss, he is a hard man. He is a tough man. He's hard to work for. He whinges about everything. He goes on this whole tirade of complaints." Okay? So he says, "You know what? No, I'm gonna bury this." So he takes his 2 talents, digs a hole in his backyard, drops them in there, covers it up, and walks off. Does whatever. Okay? A few years pass. I'm going to give it years. A few years pass, and the boss comes back. Just as he said, just as he told, just as he promised. And the boss basically says, "All right, guys, since I've been gone, what you been doing?" Once he comes back, he's calling the accounts. The guy who had 5 talents, he's like, all right, dude, what'd you do with my money?" He says, "Look, boss, you're a tough man." He's like, "You're tough. You're ow, okay? You're hard on us. But I went down the street to this guy named Herbert Everett Bruins." So yes, that's a Texas reference, calling it like the beginning of HEB, which is a major food chain down here, or whatever. Against a joke. But he's like, "Yeah, I went to him. I invested your money. You gave me back." It's like, "You gave me 5 talents, brother. It's like, look, I'm giving you 10 back because that's how much you gave me and the profit you made from it." Boss: "Well, all right. Okay, I like this. All right, you good. We cool. Next guy. Boss. Okay, look, I'm sorry. Boss, what do you mean you're sorry? I'm sorry, okay? You gave me 4 talons. I invested the 4 talons in a jewel in a jewel dealer, and at first we were good. He was making money, everything else, and then about like even 6 months, 8 months into it, he was traveling back from one of the deals. He got killed. What? Yeah, he got killed coming back. Because don't forget, travel back then was slow. Easier for people to get jumped. He's like, yeah, he got killed. You know, they recovered his body a little bit later. I don't know how, but they didn't find the money. They gave me, someone knew that I'd given them the money. They gave me back the money. I turned around, I reinvested it into the local blacksmith. And the 4 talons that you gave me, I turned around and I put them in. I put them in the local blacksmith. I know I was supposed to give you more, but all I got is 8. You know, that's with the investment from the money and everything else. The boss. Okay, so first of all, who do I send the funeral bouquet to for dying? You know, like, all right, let me at least, you know, make good with the jeweler's wife. But in the way of that, you took care of my investment. Yeah, you good, you all right, okay, you fine, we got you. You know, you're fine. I don't, you know, you're good. Next guy, last guy. He says, well, boss, I knew you were a hard master. I knew you're a bean counter whip cracker. You know, we're just surprised you don't have us singing certain songs while working, just to try and make the day easier. So I took the 2 talents you gave me. He says I didn't want to lose them. I buried them in my backyard. Here are the 2 talents. The boss. Wait, what? You did what? Are you high? No, seriously, are you high? The heck is wrong with you? He says, look, and you know, and then he's addressing. He's like, ugh, walks off, and he addresses all 3 of them at the same time. Look, dude, dude who I gave 5 talons with, I got an all expenses trip paid to the nearest oasis for the next 2 years. Your bills, your tab, whatever you rack up, paid for. Your house, paid for. Your TV, paid for. You know, all of that, paid for. Dude who I gave 4 talons to, but you got 8. Guess what? You coming on this trip too. You sure as heck are not getting screwed out of this. You make sure that, you know, you busted your butt and worked for it. But you, with the 2 talons, I would have been perfectly fine had you sat there and said, I lost them trying to invest it. I'm sorry. You know, and spent the next 2 years, you know, spent the next however long I was gone, busting your butt trying to work and pay that off. I would have been fine with that. But you, since you literally left them in the dirt and died, not only are you fired, but I am blacklisting you on every single job application place in this city. You can't get work here. I'll make sure that they spread the fact that you're such a bad worker that you can't get work in this entire nation. Do you get me? And guess what happened? The guy with 2 talons got blacklisted. The other 2, well, we don't know what happened to them, but all we're pretty sure is that, yeah, you know, when Oprah Winfrey was saying, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car, they're like, yeah, sure, I'll add it to my collection. Okay? So that's the story. Moral of the story. Well, there's two morals depending on how you look at it. One is with money. So if you're young, particularly if you're young, I would suggest, you know what, if you're not working, but somehow you like get hold of loose change or whatever, get on Robinhood. Keep in mind, they don't pay me for any of this. They're not telling me to do any of this. I'm not a shill for them. But get on Robinhood and invest that little money. Just start from like you're 16 or whatever. You'll be happier. And don't mess with it. It's hard to do. Trust me, but you have to not mess with it. Okay? And you do that for at least, you do that for the rest of your life. As long as you get cash in, you put a little bit in, you'll, trust me. The app it's a little hard to understand, but you'll get used to it. And yeah, you'll make your money back. I guarantee you. Now, on the reality of it, purpose, the talents. You could take that as by the name that we use now, as talents, actual talents. That means, hey, I can juggle a plate while bouncing on on a pencil while bouncing on a ball. Okay, that type of thing. Not all talents are physical. I'm going to give you that. Not all talents are physical. But you have to but what you should be doing is, especially now when you're 15, 16, I'm going to help you out with this now. When you're 15, when you're 16, 17, I'm sorry about adding in the 15-year-olds. You have got to take your talents and use them. Some of you guys are like, oh yeah, I'm this football player, basketball player, whatever player. Look, I get it that's a talent, but on the same note, you also have a mental talent. Usually, not everyone's dumb as a rock. You have a mental talent. You have something that you naturally lean towards. When you were a kid, these things that you lean towards are usually games. Usually games. And in certain games you'd like to play. Video games, I'm sorry, but you really shouldn't be a kid and raised on that stuff. I'm sorry. Teenagers is fine, but I'd say pull away from the video games. And really find out what your talents are. Once you have those talents, while you're in high school, research how to use those talents. Research how to get a job with those talents. Because here's the thing, your talents may be very, very, very necessary. Okay? Maybe extremely necessary in today's modern world. And in order to be approved by quote-unquote modern society or the modern world, all you may need is just a little bit of after schooling once you're done with high school. You may need to go to a trade school, a trade college. For some of y'all who are saying, I was like, well, what about you? Are you above this? No, I'm not above this at all. I would never say I'm above it at all. But I'm still going to say you've got to develop those talents. You have got to develop those talents, because believe it or not, those talents are what helps out define your purpose. I'm going to be bluntly honest. If you're talented and you use your talents to the extreme, or not the extreme, please, not the extreme, unless it's something to that effect. But you use your talents to make money, because believe it or not, in the world nowadays, you can make money and not be using your talents. In fact, that's usually how most first world societies run. A lot of people not doing what they're talented in, but they're doing what pays the bills. But yes, seriously, go ahead, explore your talents. You might wind up being like 30, 40, 30 and 40, maybe 50 or whatever, and be like, it's like, I've been doing this for so long. Yeah, I'm talented at it. Yeah, I'm talented at it, and I use that talent to make money. But at the same time, purpose-wise, I'm kind of miserable. Well, here's the catch. If you are 30, 40, 50, you've been using that talent to make a lot of money, you're like the guy in the store with the 5 talents. You just doubled it into 10. Being very honest and putting it into monetary perspective, what you've done, what you may wind up being is you might wind up being a multi-millionaire by that time. You might wind up being a or a multi-billionaire. Now, is it easy? No, I'm not saying it is. But you might wind up being, the next Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos or somebody during that time, because you did use your talents, and now you're searching for another purpose. Well, guess what? With a very large bank account, you're perfectly fine to take time off just to search out that purpose. Okay? Puts you in a better position. How does this relate to dating? Keep watching. It'll relate. But this video is already really long. It's actually 10 minutes over what I intended to do. But considering the topic matter, it needed to be this long. So, again, for everyone else, for everyone who's listening, this is Nicholas Spade. I gotta call this one. Again, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Post in the comment section if they allow it to post in the comment section. You may notice, little FYI, you may notice that there's going to be reissues of certain videos, of older videos. It's me playing around with the YouTube editor and the YouTube library, so that way you might have different backgrounds, you might have different views, and you might like have music or whatever with me talking. I just got to make sure it doesn't like drown things out. You can please rewatch those videos if you feel like you didn't catch everything in it, or please just go ahead and or don't. It's up to you. I'm not going to twist your arm, because I'm not I'm not that abusive. But so if you see any new videos, you're wondering why there's more, why those are coming out there, it's actually because I'm just playing around with the system, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. Again, I'm not fully doing this on my home laptop. This is done by car video, which is phone. So again, hit that like, hit that bell, leave comments. Again, I'll see you guys in the next one. But remember, perception limits reality. Have a nice one.